I have reviewed all the video samples from yesterday's sample video, and I have to say I'm kind of surprised. So the first one was the iPhones using the Filmic apps, and I was not happy with the quality of that video at all. I think that was the worst out of the three. I didn't like the video quality because I found that the exposure changed very rapidly. Like if we look at this sample here, you can see the white balance and the exposure changing substantially. Okay, I don't think the desktop audio is in here anyways. As I move the phone around, you can see everything. Look at the background. The exposure and the white balance are just changing. And to me, that's extremely distracting. You also have a lot of dark spots. Like if you look right under the handset, normally there would be a shadow there, but this is completely dark. The focus was not terrible, but it wasn't great. I found that it was it focused, but while it was focusing, it would like go in and out really fast, and then it would lock in focus. And sometimes it would do that 2 or 3 times, or almost constantly whenever there was motion. And so while it was in focus, I found the focusing to be very distracting. So I really was not happy with the iPhone video quality at all. The audio is also an issue, and that's why I have it brought up here on the timeline. This is as it recorded untouched. It's very low. It's not even reaching 0. It's very low audio. And then when it gets to the point where I put the phone up to the camera, it starts to hit 0 and it's fine. But I don't find that it's particularly clear. And this is kind of an editing nightmare, because what I would have to do is go here like this and then bump this up, bring it up to 0. I usually put it so there's a little bit of yellow in there, kind of like that, and then it would match this. But I'd have to keep changing it, in the video. So wasn't happy with the iPhone at all, and I'm kind of surprised. I'm surprised it wasn't better than it was. But no, that's not at all any good. So I think the iPhones is still satisfactory for a secondary camera, like in the case of this clip, for example, that was at the beginning of the video. I think it was fine for that purpose. But you can see here, this video had the focus situation quite a bit. See, like right there, it did it. There it goes, in and out, in and out, in and out again. And now it's fine, there's no motion, but I just find that horrifically distracting. So the iPhone video I did not like. The second clip was the Sony Camera, and this was my favorite video. I found that the video was really clear and the audio was really clear. And what I noticed, I didn't realize this at the beginning of the video, but I got these adapters for the tripod that would convert the traditional tripod, I think it's a 3/8 screw, into the GoPro mount. And the reason why I did that is because I find that it's easier to change that out versus messing with that little screw under the tripod. So I did that, and also when I mount the camera directly to the tripod mount, the door kind of catches on the bottom of this, so elevating this up like this solves that problem. I did had put a washer on there at one point, and that was okay, but it made it kind of hard to connect. It was even more finicky to screw it back on. So this fixed the screen hinge catching on the thing issue completely. It also fixed, which I didn't realize this until the moment that I went to sample it, was that this takes the camera high up enough from the tripod mount that I can successfully put the handset right up against the microphone. And so, as we saw in the test video, the audio from the handset was perfectly clear. And so, the video is very clear. The exposure is good. It's constant. It's not really changing at all. The white balance isn't constantly changing. You see here, like, let me lock this on this frame. It's you can see under the handset here, it's not in full shadow like it was with the other camera. It does get kind of dark, like here, for instance, but you also notice that the background kind of stays constant, whereas the other, with the iPhone's camera, the background will be blaring bright and washed out at this point as it tries to compensate. I think this is overall a much more pleasant video to watch. It's more more consistent, more controlled. And if you look at the audio and the timeline, the automatic gain control on that camera does a good job. It keeps everything from my voice to the ringer to the handset pretty much at a good level. It's all very normalized. So I think the Sony camera was the best. That was my favorite. And then last, the third sample was the GoPro camera, which, as far as the video goes, the video clarity, I think was really good. The exposure is good. It's pretty stable. It's not going all over the place. The focus is perfect. The white balance is pretty stable as well. That's not going haywire. So the video looks good. It looks pretty good. A little bit of shadowing. I think the like right there, for example, with the Sony camera, you could see the details under here. It's kind of lost in the dark. So I think the Sony camera again did better with the lighting. But this is perfectly good video as far as the visual element goes. But notice that the audio is very low. So what I usually have to do is I have to go under here and I put it onto auto, and then I bump it up to 123. And then I typically turn this to treble boost, and I find that gives me an audio layout which is pretty comparable to the Sony camera. Now in this case, I should have taken it down a bit because it was getting a bit into the red, and I think that tarnished the audio quality of the sample. But then the problem is, if I take this down, if I put this into a good level, now my voice at the beginning is too low. So this, like the iPhone, kind of creates a editing nightmare, because the ringer would have to get cut and edited separately. This would have to get cut. I'd have to do this, cut this part out, cut this part out, and then cut this part. Whoops, and mix this audio, this clip, and this clip the same as my voice, and then mix this one, and then fix this one, and it creates unnecessary hassle. And then of course the audio level is going up and down, and it's going to sound weird. So there's a lot of videos where this doesn't matter, but for the phone videos, you do have the ringer, which is typically louder than everything else, and then I guess putting this right up to the microphone is louder than me talking. So this is, not ideal. Plus, with the fact that don't focus close up, it's just not ideal for the phone videos. So the bottom line is the Sony camera wins again. The Sony camera footage was fantastic, both the audio. It's even lighter too, like this. Now the clarity, I think, is a little bit better on the like, look at the detail of the carpet. It's very, very sharp, and this it's a little bit like a softer kind of video, but this is super, super sharp. Yeah, I think the GoPro is the sharpest one. But that could be because it's like one of those always in focus lenses. It's not something that's you could mechanically move to bring it focus. But anyways, the Sony camera, as I often find is the case with dedicated devices, the Sony camera takes the best phone video out of the three. The GoPro, I find, works really good for computer videos because the focus is locked, and you can lock the exposure pretty easily, and it doesn't have an issue picking up the screens. Works good for fan videos, especially bigger ones that don't fit on my bench too well, and I got to keep moving the camera back. So I'll use it for videos occasionally, and of course any kind of vlog videos or videos that are long. If I'm working on something else I just happen to be doing a video on, but I'm not really doing that for the video, that's a good purpose for the GoPro. The iPhone, probably not going to be using that for videos much at all, only if I need an extra camera. And even then I still have the other old Sony camera, which works. So not a lot of cases I'm going to use 4 cameras. But, you know, should the situation arise like it did today, although I guess today I could have used the other old Sony camera for this clip. So, anyways, I'll keep those 2 iPhones in case another situation arises, but in my opinion the winner is by far the Sony camera.